Hello everybody and welcome to the Magic Kingdom. As you can see, we are here in Tomorrowland. We're going to be checking out Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. We're going to hop over to Frontierland to take a look at some of the new construction that's going on over at Piston Peak, the Future Cars expansion, talk about Thunder Mountain Railroad as well, because that is coming very, very soon. We've got an opening date for that, as well as taking a look later on tonight at the brand new update to Disney Starlight Dream the Night Away. Peter Pan and Wendy are flying, so I want us to get a good camera view shot of that, as it is a great addition to the parade. So we got a lot to cover today, but first things first, let's go to the front of Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. Let's take a look at this gigantic recharge to this attraction. The changes for this attraction start right at the beginning, which fits more in line with the slow re-theme that Tomorrowland's been going through since 2018 with the Carousel of Progress, Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, the new sign out in front of Tomorrowland, as it's very much kind of that mid-century modern style. Now obviously the sign itself is very, you know, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger-y, you know, the usual stuff that we've seen in the past. But even towards the front with the greens and the purples and even the grays are much more in line with Buzz as a character. So definitely really, really cool. It also glows really nicely at night, but I dig this front. It fits much more in line with the way Tomorrowland has been looking as of late, and I personally am a really big fan of that. But of course, there is more changes to come, so let's go ahead and hop in line, and we'll go ahead and ride this ride and give you guys a bit of a look into the attraction itself. While the queue has largely remained the same, the only difference is really on these with new animations. Unfortunately, Buzz still remains the same. It's pretty difficult, especially with the new technology that they have. They showed in a recent video on YouTube. Really wish they updated this, but I do like the new animations on here. Of course, we'll take a look at the loading, which is the next area that got an update, and then onto the actual attraction itself. As soon as you enter the room here, you get a look at the brand new vehicles as well as the art. The lighting in here has also changed. It's got a very nice blue hue. And of course, the painting in the back as well has changed. But the main attraction, of course, is the ride vehicles themselves. Right on the front here, you can see we've got removable blasters. One side is red, the other side is green. We also have video displays. The joystick's still the same. And the whole point is to aim for the Z's as per usual. Just gonna lift back up. Time to hit Galactic Hero. As you can see, you can remove the blaster. Mine will shoot red here. Gotta aim for those Z's, everybody.
Final checks. Test your blasters. Oh, great.
Great work, team.
Can keep blasting.
Your mission will resume momentarily.
You can hold down the trigger. You can see all these are now. A lot more noise in here. Oh, moving again. Someone got rainbow mode. So someone aimed rainbow mode and it jumped up my points up big time. Holy crap. I think we might have accidentally hit it. Because if you get rainbow mode, you get 250,000 points. Also look out for white ones as they're double the points. Filming this and playing the game is very difficult. I think it might be time to go rapid fire here. You can go rapid fire. It does cause a little bit more trickier. Well, I don't know how well this turned out. I got Space Ace. Of course, this scene stays the entirety same. You can see towards the end here all the different areas. You can now score over 1,000,000 points. But I love how it also pops up here, Space Ace. Got Space Ace there. It could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot better, but it could have been a lot worse. So what exactly changed in this attraction? Now, obviously, from the jump, the entrance, like we talked about, of course, the ride vehicles is probably the biggest, or one of the biggest adjustments here into the attraction. The remote control is a little more movable, a little more malleable. You're able to move at a much quicker, easier pace. At the same time as well, you also do get, of course, those removable blasters, which are over at Disneyland. They've been brought over here. I love the fact that there's 2 different colors to this in particular. It makes it a lot easier and much more enjoyable for all ages, as it's not mounted on, so you don't have to like really reach up to get to that point, especially for younger riders. This makes it a lot more enjoyable. Also, the real-time scoring, the TV that is in there on the actual ride vehicle itself makes it a lot easier. And then, of course, the biggest change of them all, the targets. Every time you hit a target, it glows your color, and you can also hear it's a different noise as well. Now, talking about points, because that's the thing that everybody wants to know. How do you get over 1,000,000 points and become Galactic Hero once again? Well, of course, there are a few different ways, and I talked about this while we were on the attraction. Any targets that glow a white ring around it and starts like a flashing white ring, that gets you double points. Now, the one to look out for is going to be a rainbow color doing the exact same thing. When you hit it, you get 250,000 points, and you illuminate it for everyone else in that specific room on the attraction. It doesn't go from room to room, but it's in whichever room you're in. So, for example, the one we got it in was in that first room with the Rock'em Sock'em robot and all that other stuff. This first space one past Buddy, the brand new animatronic, which I'll talk about here in a second. That, of course, will put the stained glass sort of look on all the targets, and you earn even more points from that. So that's your best ways to get Galactic Hero. Is it easier? No, it's much more difficult, because instead of actual targets that you have to turn your vehicle to, it is very much a looking around the room and finding where those targets are. I'm definitely planning on riding this a little bit later today to try to get to that Galactic Hero. It's one of my missions for today, but I'll do that off camera. But I did want to show you guys that specific parts of that attraction. Now, of course, towards the beginning of it, we are introduced to Buddy. She's a brand new audio animatronic that is a part of this attraction, and ultimately she is there to help us prepare for the impending battle against Zurg, give us some encouragement, help us use our blasters, our joystick, the vehicles, all the things to make this attraction even better. Ultimately, I think it's a massive, beautiful, and great change. I personally am a very big fan of it. Overall, it makes this attraction much more re-rideable. Of course, in the original one, it's re-rideable, yes, but it was definitely outshone by things like, of course, Toy Story Mania and even Web Slingers to an extent over at Disney's California Adventure. But this creates such greater re-rideability and makes the attraction so much more enjoyable. It's a ton of fun, absolute blast. Pun very much intended. It is a great recharge to this attraction. Now, obviously, there's been videos talking about that over the past several weeks since it's reopened on April 8th. I'm a little bit later, but I wanted to get you guys as much information as I possibly could when talking about this attraction, because there's a lot here that is making this attraction very enjoyable. I'm gonna ride it one more time, but let's head our way over towards Thunder Mountain because we do have a brand new opening date for this attraction, and I do want to talk about that there. Our next stop brings us to Thunder Mountain, which of course has been under refurbishment since January of 2025. It's been a long time that this has been under wraps, but we do officially have a reopening date. May 3rd of 2026 is when Thunder Mountain is going to reopen. All of this will be back up and ready to go here very, very shortly. You can even see they are kind of redoing the concrete here a little bit. It is definitely interesting, I will say. Very kind of desert-esque, as it'll lead into kind of the more quote-unquote salt mines of its next door neighbor with Tiana's Bayou Adventure and things of that sort. But as of right now, Thunder Mountain is under walls for only a short more bit of time. Again, May 3rd is when it will reopen. Of course, got all the walls going across, at least for now. Let's head up towards here because I do want to get a good vantage point of kind of how it's going to work with, of course, all the expansions right here. We get a much better vantage point from up towards this bridge here than anywhere else in the park. So as you can see here, you've got, of course, Thunder Mountain. You've got a whole wall kind of towards the left side, or right side, excuse me, of the camera. Right over here, there's a whole wall that'll lead from the exit to the attraction all the way forward. And all of this will be, of course, covered. The other thing you can see is not only is there a construction thing kind of going on, look at that, but as you can kind of see me zoomed in there, there is a bit of vertical going on over here at Piston Peak, and even over on this other side here where the crane's at, just below the wall, there's a bit of wood. I'm gonna try to see if I can zoom in. It might be a little grainy here. If you can see that kind of orange and wood and a bit of cement there right in view. We've got some more vertical going on here. There is a lot happening over here, of course, at the future site of Piston Peak. And then further beyond is Villains Land. Could go a little higher just to get a bit of a better vantage point, but really just wanted to showcase this wall over here that, of course, will be blocking. But again, May 3rd this year, coming up very, very closely. And we'll, of course, hopefully have some videos and stuff coming for Thunder Mountain and all the changes there. There's a lot coming. Of course, more specifically, a whole new track. There's a whole new storyline. There's like a Rainbow Cavern-esque sequence that'll kind of roar the mountain to life, and it'll essentially be like the mountain fights back sort of thing, which is going to be very intriguing. I'm very curious in how that's going to roll, but I'm very excited nonetheless. Quicker than I even anticipated, because I've been living here since August of 2025, and I didn't think it would open in May. I really didn't. I thought with the way things were moving, especially over the last few weeks, that this isn't happening till mid-May or maybe June. But nope, it'll reopen May 3rd of this year. Pretty excited about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you are excited for Thunder to return to the Magic Kingdom. It's definitely going to be sorely needed to help balance these crowds out, especially over here in Frontierland, where the only attractions are obviously Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is right here, and the Country Bear Jamboree. So as much as I wanted to stay at the Magic Kingdom, it got pretty busy, and the timing between now and when the parade was going to start was a little bit long, and there wasn't much to do, but there still is a lot going on. Of course, while I didn't get a chance to show you, let's go ahead and talk about the big change to Disney Starlight. Back in July, Disney Starlight Dream the Night Away premiered at the Magic Kingdom, and it was met with excitement, mainly because of the fact that there hadn't been a parade in over 10 years at the Magic Kingdom. I have seen it many times. I really enjoy it for the most part. I do wish there was one more float, maybe a few other performers mixed in, but it still is a really beautiful float. And that's why I'm clipping in some clips here previously, but as you can see, Peter Pan and Wendy, for the most part, have been on the float itself. But in the concept art, it showed them flying. So what exactly was the issue? Well, the issue was trying to figure out how exactly them flying would work. It's a big technical thing that Imagineers and specifically Entertainment Cast had to figure out. And as of a few days ago, they figured it out and premiered it in front of everybody. And it was met with a crazy ton of uproar, of excitement in regards to, of course, one of the biggest changes to any parade here at Disney. But so far, it has made the parade that much more enjoyable, more dynamic. I personally love this change, getting to see it in action, the two of them soaring together. The choreography they have going on is very, very cool. It's very well done, and honestly, I think it helps to continue to elevate and enhance the parade. And that's the one thing I say is going on very well right now across Walt Disney World. As a tram is going by here at the Magic Kingdom parade. Hello. Ah! Oh, he's still going. He's still going. That was awesome. Side note, I love cast members. I think this change in particular has made Starlight more dynamic, and it is a very good change. And that's the thing, is Disney as of late has been enhancing. There we go. Point has been made, because we lost track because of, cast member interactions, which happens as the wind is blowing aggressively. But enhancements have been what Disney's been doing as of late. Lots of them. And for the most part, things have been, pretty steady, right? The last several years in COVID and all those other things, you got Tron, you got Guardians of the Galaxy, and all of those are good, right? They're all good things. Like Guardians of the Galaxy is the best coaster on Walt Disney World. Tron's fun. A lot of good things, right? But there's one word I keep coming back to, and that is enhance. Enhance, enhance, enhance. And nothing is much more evident of that than the state of Walt Disney World right now. 3 of the 4 parks have major expansions going on right now, between Villains Land, Piston Peak at the Magic Kingdom, Tropical Americas at Animal Kingdom, Monstropolis at Hollywood Studios. Of course, Epcot's chilling because it just went through a major change, right? The biggest in that park's history. But enhancements, things are getting enhanced, things are coming alive, right? And even little things too. You have the magic of Disney's animation coming to Hollywood Studios here soon, which they, as of today, as I'm recording this, just put up the Sorcerer hat. So we'll have a Studios update coming very, very shortly, which we do anyway, because in a few days they're going to announce the new Muppets opening day for that. That's an enhancement. New songs, all that sort of stuff. You got Soarin' Across America coming for a limited time, which I think is going to be fantastic. You've got, of course, before the magic of Disney animation opens, you've got the Walt Disney Studios area with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live. Of course, the changes to Buzz, which I think are phenomenal. And then on top of that, you've got Thunder Mountain reopening. All of these are good changes. And they're changes not for the sake of, oh, we just want to boost attendance. It's going back to, rightfully controversial or not, Jeff Volley's words of enhancing areas that need it. And at the same time, too, pouring love into things that, aren't as used as often, right? And I know that was, however he phrased it, right? It was pretty controversial. And I'll admit, not the craziest fan of it, because I do miss the riverboat. I do miss dearly Muppet Vision 3D. I really do. But there's still a lot to look forward to. Between what we've got coming this year, what we've got coming next year, we've got a brand new land coming. 2028, you know, more than likely Monstropolis and maybe even Piston Peak. But there's a lot coming, and it's all good enhancements that will not only bring, I think, fans who've been coming to the parks for decades, like myself, but also those who have never been to Walt Disney World or who love these characters and these stories, right? You know, Disney at the end of the day is a company that started in film, creating these characters or pulling from classic stories, and has now pretty much become a theme park, more than a theme park giant, but like that's the driving force of their company, right? I mean, Josh D'Amaro recently got promoted to CEO, and I mean, we didn't talk about that at all because I've been gone for a while. But even with that change of him being a true theme park guy, right? You know, of course, Chapek was, yes, he was the leader at one point of Disney Experiences, but he was more consumer products. That's besides the point. What I am saying, though, is a lot of the changes that have been made, are getting made, are a lot of things to be excited about. And like, if Buzz is any indication, in my personal perspective, if Buzz is any indication, I think we're in for a potential parks renaissance. Potentially. And I know a lot of people have been saying like, oh, there's something big that's coming, you know, things, get excited, you know, all this other stuff. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. You know, we still got a few years before all these things happen. But we'll find out more in August once D23 is around the corner. I unfortunately will not be attending this year just because tickets were a stretch, and I will more than likely be having to find an apartment and some of those things during August, so that'll be fun. But yeah, a lot of really good changes. A lot of, I guess what I'm trying to say, if anything, out of this whole entire ramble here at the end of the video, is I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic about the future of Disney. I'm optimistic about the parks. I'm optimistic about the direction, the leadership, who's in charge of Imagineering, all of those things. There's a lot of good things coming, and I hope you stick around. I know it's been a long time since I posted a video. I recognize that, and we've kind of shifted kind of the direction of this channel. I won't be posting like every week. I don't want to promise that, because this could be for a few weeks and then, you know, I don't feel the need to do it anymore again for a while, but we'll see. But there's a lot to look forward to, and I hope in some way, shape, or form you're excited about it. Whether you continue to watch videos of mine or not, or you check out other content creators, there's thousands of Disney content creators now. Like, it's absolutely insane. But there's a lot to look forward to, and I hope you are excited. I really do, because we need more joy, we need more happiness, we need more love and positive things to look forward to. The world is so full of negativity and hate and just wanting to be mean or wanting to be spiteful or wanting to look at things negative, when we look at things positive, when we look at things in a way where, you know, yeah, sure, things may happen, things may change, but good can still come out of it. It changes your mindset, and it helps you to be a more positive person, not just in your life, but even around in your circle and those you're influencing. So, didn't mean to get all preachy there at the end, but we need more good stuff to look forward to, and I think we have some of those up and coming. But until then, we'll see you all hopefully in the next one. It'll probably be from Hollywood Studios, apparently, because there's stuff coming up that we're going to talk about in a similar style video to this. I'll see you all hopefully in the next one.